interesting episode of Inside Out, and this week we have a topic that concerns everybody. I mean, we've heard of so many crimes occurring in the country today, and there seems to be an opinion among the generality that justice is not for all, that you have to be rich in order to get justice, or connected in order to get justice in Nigeria. That seems to be the popular opinion. I had this argument with someone, and the person was like, you know, if you don't know anybody, you just waste your time, you will waste your energy, your case will go on forever, and you will never get justice. That the person who has more money than you will oppress you, even after they have wronged you. And I thought, is that really true? Or is it that we as Nigerians don't take time to know what our rights are and know what options are available for us to seek redress? A lot of the time, people cite money, finances, as a reason why they never get justice. Are there ways around this? As the ordinary Nigerian citizen, can you be assured of getting justice in this country? I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in this, because when we put this out on social media, we got massive response. And so I thought, okay, we need to discuss it. Let people learn, let them know what is available, how they can get redress. For you don't have to be rich to seek justice. And if we think we have to, then that will be open for conversation here. And I have a panel that will help us trash out this issue. I'm going to start from my left. Please help me welcome the Executive Director, Crime Victim Foundation, which is an NGO. She's a legal practitioner and a human rights activist, Mrs. Gloria Ekbuji. You're welcome to is the Office of the Public Defender for the Lagos State Government, Mrs. Omotola Rotimi. You're welcome once again. And then next to her is Mr. Nuruddin Salaudeen. You're welcome to Inside Out. And lastly, we have Mrs. Pearl Mweke. You're welcome to Mweze. You're welcome to Inside Out. Okay, I'm going to start, and the last shall become the first. There's one of the most unheard voices, so to speak. So if we can hear from you, what happened in your case?
Thank you very much, Agatha. I'm really very happy that I finally have a platform to express myself. Start from the police.
From the police?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I lost my husband in 2012, December of 2012, and of course he died interstate. And after the burial, after my husband's burial, you know the normal thing now. People, the relations from left, right, and center will jump out and start fighting for property. Now, in my own case, my husband has 3 other children from other women that are not married, that he was not married to. But I have, the major people that I had problems with were my sisters-in-law.
Wow. Your sister-in-law?
My sisters-in-law, not even the men in the family. Unfortunately, these days, widows suffer from women like them, who unfortunately are also married. That's supposed to know what you're going through. But the matter was taken to the police. They first went to the police.
What did they want?
They want my husband's estate.
His sisters?
His sisters. They want me. I have one son, the first son, and the oldest in the family, and they claim that all my husband's children are minors. Therefore, they are the ones that are entitled to hold everything in trust for them. When the matter was taken to the police, they first wrote a petition against my husband's personal assistant that he had amassed, they have vandalized his warehouse, he had stolen his property, they've stolen so many things. And so kind of contracted me to follow them in trying to recover all my husband's property. To my greatest surprise, by the special grace of God, by the time we got all these things back, they now sat up and started fighting for everything, to the extent that they are even denying me now that I'm not even my husband's wife. After the burial, this same sister-in-law was somebody it was at her house I stayed before the burial and after the burial, where people were coming to visit me. And they're so vicious. They took over the house in the village. They wanted to get me out of the house here in Lagos. What did the police do about this? When we reported the matter to the police, after they've taken our statement and everything, They concluded that the matter is a civil matter, and that all of us, I'm just cutting it short, all of us should go to court and seek whoever is not happy with, because they conducted an investigation and found out, number one, sisters or relatives have no business with the man's estate.
I was going to say, what is the basis under which?
That was the conclusion, and we were all asked to go, and that anybody that feels aggrieved should go to court and seek redress. To my greatest surprise, when they went back, whatever it is that happened, the same man that gave instruction that we should go to court was the one that now wrote a letter. Even my husband's goods that were at the warehouse that I wanted to go and remove, because we were paying rent on those goods, and the money had accumulated to 1-point-something million. The warehouse manager who instructed the person, it wasn't my husband that kept the goods, it was the personal assistant, the same person that they said vandalized the warehouse, stole the goods. After investigation, they found out that he didn't do anything, and they now asked us to go. But after I paid the rent, for me to go and carry those goods, my sisters-in-law went back to that same police, gave them, I don't know, I don't want to say they gave them money, but whatever it is, made them write a letter to them. As I'm talking to you, this thing happened in 2013. The goods are still there as I'm talking to you.
What?
Yes.
This is 2015.
This is 2015. At a stage, I took the warehouse manager to court because I had paid him. He had released the goods to me. I was just to move the goods. And then came this letter with my sister.
The letter from the police?
From the police, that the goods should not be released to me. So, unfortunately, when we got to court, you think that that's where you're going to even get your own, get your answers. The matter started since 2013 is still in court as I'm talking to you. Because while the matter was going on, my sisters-in-law came to join the warehouse manager that they want to join as joined us. Court lawyers will understand what I'm saying. That they now started claiming that they are directors in my husband's company. That one of them was a director in my husband's company. So they want to come and join to stop me from removing those things. And the matter was adjourned as I'm talking to you since December 2013 till as I'm talking to October 2000, as I'm talking to you up till now. Nothing has been heard about that matter.
Wow.
We'll keep going to court to see what the ruling was. It was adjourned for ruling. Nothing is happening. That's number one. That's for the courts. Two, what am I supposed to do with the children that my husband left behind? Even the money, my husband had a bureau de change, was working with all these bureau de change malams. But even before the burial, my sisters-in-law went there and collected the money, some part of the money, which they told me. By the time I knew it, they went back and collected the remaining money. They collected the money even before the burial. And it wasn't even the money that they used for the burial. Now they are using that same money, that's the money they have. Yeah, that's why the truth is that if you don't have money to settle, let me not mention names that I've told you one about the police. If you don't pay money, you're not getting any, your case is not getting anywhere. I even took the matter to Crime Victim Foundation, and that's where I met Mrs. Ibuji. And she helped me to write a petition to the AIG Zone 2 regarding this. I was telling her that if I had known, I would have liked a situation where, as I'm talking to you, I would be giving you the documents. I'll be showing you the documents to back up what I'm saying. She wrote a petition, went personally, did everything she could to see that they release those goods. As I'm talking to you till today, they refuse to release those. What
reason have they given you? Because they must give you a reason. What is the reason?
What reason would they give you? They even transferred the matter from their own zone to a place where my sisters-in-law know people that will help to. They don't give you reasons. Even at a point, just recently I went back to see if I can get those things. My sister-in-law came in from Port Harcourt. Whatever it is that they did, I don't know how they managed. At the end of the day, I called her while I was there. At the end of the day, they transferred me with the file, with the case to Camp Salem, where they have nothing to do with the case. And before you handle anything at that place, a signal has to come from Abuja.
What business do her sisters-in-law have with her husband's property? Because it's not as if there's a second and third wife. We're talking extended family.
Yes.
Yeah, I
girlfriends.
Think it's just the culture women found themselves, because when the matter was brought to our office, what I did was I wrote a petition. I think they started having access to that good because it's perishable. It's matches. By now, I don't know what will have
You must
happened.
have spoiled now.
They were about taking some part of it when the sister-in-law descended on it again and started fighting them. I don't know for what.
I'm just saying
for
legally.
whatever
I'm
reason.
saying from a legal point of view.
From
What are they dragging for? She is a wife. They are sisters. The man died. He died interstate, so he didn't even leave a will.
Yes,
According to law,
we had a meeting.
what is the case?
I had a meeting with them at a point, including those sisters-in-law and the police at the police station. And the police were of the view, yes, this man left children, they should go and look for how to take care of the children, the matter is stable and so on. But I think their own is more of their own cultural belief, that they feel that, well, they have to.
Does
Legally, I don't
cultural
think-
belief supersede law? What does the law say?
Well,
Can I
yes.
just come in?
Yes,
Because
please, help me.
when she was talking, I was just like, wow, why is this going on? Like she had said, this is one of the things that widows do go through.
Yes.
But then, you see, if you know your rights and if you know the law, first of all, what the law says is that if you die intestate, I mean, if somebody dies intestate, it is the children that should inherit. You'll find out that all over Nigeria, whether from the south, from the east, from the west, anywhere you come from, women don't inherit from their husband. You can inherit from you can inherit from your own parents, depending. But
Why can't women inherit?
except let me learn. Except if you are married under the act, then you are entitled to 1/3 of your husband's estate. The remaining 2/3 goes to the children.
Really?
Where a woman does not, and that is why we always encourage women. We always tell women, make sure that when you say you're married, you are properly married under the law, under the act. Where you have done traditional marriage, and it's not a marriage under the act, you will not be entitled to anything except the children. Then when it now comes to the children when it now comes to the children, there's no such thing under the law that a child is a bastard. There's no bastard child under the Nigerian law. A child is a child. Whether it is the woman inside or the woman outside that has the child. So far, the DNA shows that this man bears these children, is the biological father, then every child is entitled under the law. So now, where does the family comes in? What the law recognizes is that it is only where the man that dies intestate has a dependable father or a mother, then they too will be entitled, you know, when they are dependable, assuming he has an aged father or an aged mother, then those ones too, under the law, they will be catered for under the estate. But when there is a widow that under the law, she has every right. I don't know, madam, are you married under the act?
No,
married under the act. Traditional marriage.
No, she married traditionally, but the man had other kids.
Yes, that's what I'm
And I
saying.
recognized
Even where-
all my husband's children.
Yes.
I did.
Yes, let me learn. So even where she has
So
married,
part of the problem she's
as a
having is that
traditional.
she did not marry under the act.
that is one of the problems. But then even where that happens, she must still be catered for.
Okay.
And that is where mediation, where Gloria has actually come in with the police. But you see, where everything had gone wrong, I don't know where. It's probably the way the lawyer had handled, because from what she had said, she said the matter is in court. Because the matter is in court, we can't really say much. But the lawyer that had actually gone to court on her behalf should have ensured that everything, that even the matter is expedited on. We have family courts in is it
The
in
matter that went
Lagos
to,
State?
the matter I took to court had to do with my husband's bills and the warehouse that I had already paid rent for and denied moving out of the
Exactly,
warehouse.
My question is, where do the sisters-in-law come
Come
in?
in.
They
They
don't
have no
go
rights.
in. You
They
see,
have
that
no
is why
rights.
I have said that even where that the only people, the only members of the family
The
that
parents.
should have are aged parents.
And
If I
they are
thought he has aged parents.
They are
But
dead.
if Are they still alive?
My parents-in-law are both dead.
They are
They are
So
claiming
they
that.
don't even have.
So what are they
evidence at all.
doing in court? That's my question. If there's no law backing them, what are they contesting?
That is why I'm saying that I am now putting it at the step of the lawyer that had actually gone to court. In the first instance, in the matter concerning the estate and everything, the lawyer should have had to ensure that the matter was expedited in court. Because why? She must take care of those children.
So there are a lot of what so what you're saying to me, what you're saying to me is that with a lot of the cases that widows have, and it is usually a lot of the time with brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law, that there really ought to be no case under the law.
At all.
Exactly.
They don't have any reason to be there. Well, what I was saying before the break was that irrespective of whether she is not even, she has a traditional marriage with the deceased, with her husband, the point still remains that she has to cater for all these children. They must be catered for. She must be catered for. And with regards to the warehouse, her lawyer ought to have gone to court and get an injunction against them. I don't know if that's what the lawyer did. Against them
your lawyer
to
did?
stop them from taking anything.
My lawyer wrote several letters to them. And
To whom?
To my sisters-in-law.
If you want to say to me, I'm taking the two things. If you had said men were fighting you, for instance, and maybe they had more muscle, is women fighting a woman? Yes, which can be deadly as well. Now, is it that they had more money than you?
I wish I knew that I was going to come here and then this topic we're talking about. But I'm just like saying, I want to talk generally.
Yeah.
Like the fight, why should my sisters-in-law even want, they claim that my husband had talked, one of them claimed that my husband spoke with her on phone from India, that he made what they call dying declaration, where he said that
I don't know. There's something like that?
Talk.
Dying declaration.
Dying declaration.
On phone, and that he
I should
said
not record it.
they didn't record it. There was no such thing. It was their own lawyer that typed that thing, and that was a form part of their petition to the police in the first place. So I don't understand why where all these ones.
Okay, let me, like I said, this is, without going into too much, I mean, we have an idea of what you're talking about.
Yes.
And that is representative of what a lot of widows go through. And to understand where she comes in and what she can do in a situation like this.
Yeah, we run an organization for victim support, to support those who are victims of crime.
Victims of
human
crime.
rights abuses, yes.
Yeah.
And most cases, when we are having issues, we have a working relationship with
With Office
OPD.
of the Public
Yes,
Defender.
so most of our cases that are too difficult, because they have state apparatus, we send.
Let me ask you, what is your what is the most common kind of crime or infringement that you encounter?
Oh, domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Domestic
issues.
violence against women.
Yeah.
And occasionally injustice against widows like this. Yes.
Okay, in her situation now, what she has said, because I still said, I mean, Mrs. Rotimi was saying something. You're a lawyer,
Yes,
so you have an understanding of the law.
exactly.
What is the case?
Well, the case is simple. When she just came to me, she was crying, and it's a case of illegal dispossession from the sister-in-law. And when they just came, what I told her first is that you have a right to stay in that house. You're right.
But did they tell her to leave her house too?
I told her to stay
with my
put.
son.
She should not go. That she has a right to stay because she is fighting for the younger, all the children of the man, all the man's children that are younger, because the son is the eldest. And then she rallied them. All of them came to my office. I spoke to them. I explained their rights to them, and they all went. But suddenly, suddenly I noticed that some of them started withdrawing, backsliding. They were not fighting with her. But I told her, look, you have a right to what the man owes for your children. Whatever it is, stay in that house, don't leave. And she's still there. They've not been able to move her in one of the houses, or they're still fighting her.
My question is, you, for instance, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
You know what the law says.
Yes.
She has another lawyer. Because I want to find out if it's a case of the justice system or human beings. And you know what the law says pertaining to this. Mrs. Rotimi explained it very simply right now.
Yes.
And from what I understand, she has always had a lawyer even before she came to you, isn't it?
No,
You don't have a personal lawyer.
it was after I went to her, I decided to go and look for.
Oh, all this time you were fighting on your own.
I felt that the right thing to do was, even my sisters-in-law, I never came to fight. Remember, we were all together. We all went to the burial together.
And when you saw that the daytime was becoming nighttime, didn't you think it was time to at least protect the
they
interest
were
of-
even the first ones, the people that first took me to court. They now started even challenging my marriage with my husband.
What,
They now-
when
they now
all
started
of this
saying
was
that I was not
happening,
married, like-
what were you doing? You.
For
When you saw that the people who were your best friends have become your enemies.
first of all, you have to try to make peace. You have to go to
How?
the family first. I told you how we went to the police, how they took me to the.
At what point did you go? How many years after did you go?
It wasn't. I went almost immediately.
In the
These
same year your
things,
husband died?
You cannot believe how fast these people can move. When they started, after the burial, they started holding meetings, even in the house. If I sit down, they will ask me to leave. And when they had already bowed I've done everything. I was in my morning clothes. I'm mourning everything.
So while you were mourning, they were clearing?
I'm a widow. I mourned my husband. We all went for the burial. I was the legitimate wife as far as I'm concerned at the time. Other women, did they come? They didn't even come for the burial. It's just that when things like this happen, like she said, the people that you should be concerned with are the children. And the children were my own priority. They were my concern. And I thought my sisters-in-law, seeing that I was not even fighting with any of the women, should have gathered us. Let us sit down and figure out what to do about these children. But they were all thinking about how to take these monies and use for themselves.
Yeah.
I think the mistake she made was she relied so much on them. And when she came, I knew that it wasn't going to be tea party. Because even though the sister-in-law, I saw them, I met all of them, and I saw how they were.
Why do you think that it is so difficult to get justice?
Well,
Even when the law is clear on something, that it is still difficult to get justice.
well, I think from antecedent and from the society we found ourselves, that's just what I think. Because if not, I don't see any reason why. But because of the way people see things, because if you know that things should be right, I don't see any reason why the in-laws should be fighting.
Okay.
And when we had the meeting and we
Yeah.
explained, they all agreed with me, but they went back and started doing the same thing to the extent that they already started releasing some of the goods, and they backslided when I traveled, and that was when she now started a new lawyer.
Police gets involved in matters.
I want to talk to Nuruddin. Let me leave all of this before we put it all together. Nuruddin, what has been your experience trying to get justice? What happened to you?
Where I work at Ola Technology, a rolling machine roll on my right finger.
A rowing machine?
Rolling machine, which I used to roll aluminum sheet.
Wow, okay.
Roll on my right finger. So, nobody with me. I was the only one making use of the machine that fell instead of 2 persons. So when I shout, people around come to switch off the machine for me. So at that spot, they take me to Anke House, General Hospital, to treat the hand.
Did you lose a finger? You lost a finger?
Yes, no.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so after that?
So to make it short, I went to, when there's no any development from them, they didn't call me.
Wait, they took you to Anke House?
Yes.
After that?
Hospital. After that.
How long were you in hospital for?
No, it's just for that day. After that, I went to my house. So after then, I went to Anke House for treatment. They don't respond to me. As in, when it is emergency, they have responded to me.
So now you have to pay. Emergency has finished, have you?
Yes.
No, but that is supposed to be your workplace to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So when I went there back, so they already found me to one private hospital at Matogun.
Where's that?
Matogun, Okearo side.
Where is that?
When,
That's in Lagos.
yes, in Ogun State.
Is the company in Ogun State?
No,
In
Ladipo Oluwole.
hospital.
The company is in Ikeja.
Ikeja, yes. Ladipo.
And when you had an injury, they referred you to a hospital in Ogun State.
Yes. It's the director of my department is the one of his driver has similar accident. So he take the guy to that place. They treat him there. And the guy, that's why the man said I should go to the hospital. So when we got there, the guy said I will stay for 10 days. So they will be treating my hand every day for 10 days. After that, I will come in three days interval. So when I tell my director is living around that place, I told him, he said he doesn't accommodate visitors. So
How are you supposed to get there?
as in,
How do they want you to get there?
going to my house and come back every day.
How?
My road now.
Somebody was going to be coming to pick you.
Boss.
No, I will transport my money.
They gave you transport allowance.
They don't. That was all the reason why it took me to Office of Public Defenders.
Uh-huh.
So when I got there, we filed a letter. My sister was a lawyer. My other sister, it was the one that took me there.
Okay. Did it occur to you, first of all, that you can go to Office of Public Defender? Did you know first of all, that what they were doing to you was wrong?
I knew.
Did you think that there was anything you could have done?
That was why I went to my sister. It's my sister that took the case up.
Okay, so it's your sister that is a lawyer that you went
Yes.
to? Okay.
Say, this is what is happening now. What do I do?
Uh-huh.
Now
So,
take me to Office of Public Defenders.
yeah.
So when we got there, they asked me questions and I explained for them. So after then, they served the man that head my department, they served him later. The man don't respond. First time, second time, third time. So after then, they took the case to court. To
What year was
industrial
this?
court.
What year did this happen?
2011.
2011?
Yes.
Okay.
December 8, 2011.
Okay.
So for that very month, that 2011 December 8, I collected 2,000 daily, which is 26 days in a month, excluding Sundays, which is 52,000.
They paid you?
Salary.
Yes.
Was that a court judgment?
No, that's his salary. He said.
That's my
that's your
salary.
salary.
That's his
Yes.
salary.
52,000 naira monthly to 2,000 naira daily, 26 days in a month.
Okay.
So for that December, the case happened. They only paid me for 7 days.
The December
This is
when you
40.
had this accident, they only paid you for the
7
number.
days.
They paid you for the number of days until your hand.
The day the incident happened was not included.
Ah.
They only paid me for 14,000 naira, 7 days. That was what made me to
That means they sacked you the day you had a problem with your hand.
something like that.
Is it a Nigerian company?
It's a Nigerian company.
It's a Nigerian.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times we say foreigners come and treat us anyhow.
No, it's a
So
Nigerian.
I just want to be sure that
The
this is
Nigerian
a-
company. It's not the director of the company that wicked. It's the man that head my department.
No, don't they have any working rules? Is that what they do with everybody?
I think so.
If you
That's
are
what they are
ill,
doing.
So if you have been working,
Because I was told by people in that company that you are not the first person this thing happened to. And the same thing happens to them.
let me ask you a question. If you are sick, if let's say you have overworked and then you are sick and you don't come to work, they don't pay you for that day.
They don't.
They don't pay you for
They
that
don't
day.
pay. Me, in that company, I'm a contract staff. I'm not there.
Okay, so contract staff. How long did you work there?
I work almost 8 months. That
Okay.
December make it, 6 months.
That December made it
6.
Okay, so could it be because you were a contract staff that happened to you, that they don't treat their full staff that way?
I don't think they treat their staff in that way.
So it's just because you were not really a full staff? Okay. So on what basis did you go to, what basis did you get justice for him for? Because he's not full staff.
Yeah, we went to the industrial court. We took the case, like he had said earlier. Because what we do is that, first of all, we have to do mediation. We call the two parties to see if we can actually do it without necessarily going to court. But where one party fails to come, like his employer failed to come, then we had to actually we took the case to court. Then, and you got...
so he has a basis to still go to court,
oh,
even
yes.
though he's not a full staff?
Yes. And,
really?
Yes. And
so did you get judgment for him?
430,000.
He got 430,000.
Wow.
Can I just come in?
Please.
Can I just come in? You see,
Yes.
the point is that, and we always, and I think this is a very good forum to actually air it out. Some people, especially contract staff, they don't really know their rights. They don't know that they have rights under the law. And one thing that we have always told them is that whether you're a contract staff or you're a full staff, ensure that whatever the conditions of contracts should be written down in black and white clearly. Because you see, most of these companies, they use it as a ploy. They will not give them letter.
One of the things that I found out when we did something on that, they keep people for 5 years, 6 years as contract staff.
Exactly. And they don't.
And they can fire them at will.
Exactly, because the law says that, well, you cannot impose an employee on an employer. Same thing, you cannot impose an employer on an employee. So they hide under that canopy, and then they just do what they want to do. And that's why we always tell people that, look, no matter what, always read the little lines there. Because you see, that is where they hide under. And you not know, because people are desperate, they just take the job, and then they don't know what they are actually going into. So in his case, we actually had to go to the industrial court, and that's where we take these matters to show that his rights have been infringed upon, that it was unfair that he was actually terminated, more so that the company knows that they are supposed to put safety mechanisms in place. And where all these are not, we will start. And like you just said now, there are so many cases like that we have. In fact, we have over 700 cases like that at the industrial court, where we will fight for people. Yes, we will fight for people. And we will help them in actually getting justice. He had just said it, 430,000 naira he got. Even at times in such cases, the court will even say that maybe they should find a much easier job for him to do within the company. So at times, you know, we will get all this if people come out. And one thing again is that it is better for people to come out on time. Because you see, there is what you call statutory limitation in this thing. If he was lucky that he came out on time, he spoke out immediately. Some people, the company deliberately, they will be dragging, okay, don't worry, we'll pay you. Because they know what the law says.
That was what they are doing. They are persuading me not to.
They will persuade until the law will not be able to take effect and it started bad.
So I think what it is that most people don't take their time to know what the law says regarding their situation.
Exactly. He's lucky that he got a lawyer as a sister. That quickly cannot be. No, he was lucky to get a sister that is the lawyer that said, look, I know I can't do this alone. You better go to Office of the Public Defender. That is where I think you'll be able to get something better than what I can offer you there. So it is always better for people to speak out, especially when it is personal injury. When it is wrongful termination, there is a law. When it is personal injury, there is in place. Because where it is personal injury, you must bring it within 3 years, your matter. So that, and then if it's a case of wrongful termination, within 6 years, you know, you must quickly access the court. And what I always tell people is that even when you want to settle, first of all go to court. Make sure that you have filed something in court.
Then you can now come back and settle.
So if you now settle, fine. If you don't
So I
settle,
think because that's what happened to her. She was
exactly.
trying to
So if you don't settle,
go peaceful.
exactly. So
You
if
can
you don't
go back.
even settle, you know that your matter is already in court. You are not starting bad.
Mr. Salau, yes, I wanted to hear from you what your situation was and what happened with you and how you were able to get justice, if you were able to get justice.
I was pleading that they should allow me, like maybe, let's say, 3 or 4 months. It happened, I was supposed to pay the annual rate, that's the yearly payment, September. So I was
For
pleading
a
that
year in
for
advance?
Yeah, in advance.
Uh-huh.
So they said no, that they want the money at that month of September. So based on
That is supposed to take you from that September till the next August.
yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So then along the problem, I mean the issue. So I reached out to my boss and I explained to her, and she gave me the step I will follow it.
So you were not able to pay, so what did he do? You appealed to him that he should give you time to pay,
Yes.
and he said no.
So on getting to the December, and I have the money I wanted to pay, then the owner of the house, she now said no, she will not receive the money from me. So that was when I now reached out.
And so he wanted you to do what? To move out?
Yes.
He wanted to eject you?
Yes.
Okay.
So my dad asked, what did I do to them, or this or that, all those things. I said nothing. So fortunately to me, then my dad now referred me to a CMC, Center of what we call
Can I just come in?
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't take long. What happened in this case was that it was an issue of landlord and tenancy. And for no reason, just because he was probably 1 month behind payment for the next year, they now gave him a quick notice that he had to leave. And they're saying, mandating that he must leave immediately. And he brought the case to me. And then I now had to refer it because we would allow mediation first. So I now refer the case to our sister agency, Citizens Mediation Center,
okay.
to say that they should call the 2 parties. So the Citizens Mediation Center actually called the 2 parties, and but by then, I think because they knew what was going on, and the lawyer knew what was going on, and then we also from our own end also wrote to the landlord as well and served the landlord a letter saying we want them to come to our office. And in between there, the lawyer to the landlord got wind of it, and he knows what the law says. And of course,
so you mean all those times when they give you quick notice, they actually know that they cannot give you quick notice like that?
Exactly. You see, especially when they know that they are doing something illegal.
Wow.
But once a letter comes from the other side, they know that they've been put in check, and they will quickly do something. And the lawyer on the other side to the landlord was magnanimous enough to actually listen to him and know exactly what was going on, and said, no, this is wrong. Okay, we will do something and we work out something. And the lawyer was able to...
But at this time, they haven't collected any rent from him.
They refused to collect the money.
So they can, you're saying that even though they haven't collected any rent from you,
Yeah.
you still have a right.
You still have a right. And even what the law says really is that
And he did not pay as at when they said it was due.
Yes.
He still has a right.
he still has a right.
Really?
Because you see, he's a yearly tenant. He's not a monthly tenant. So even if they have to send him out, they must give him the statutory six months notice, which was not actually given.
So, okay, when you are a yearly tenant, you're supposed to have 6 months in advance.
In advance to say
of when your rent is due.
Exactly.
So if my rent is due in December, they must tell me by June.
Yes.
No, but what we're saying is that it's not the issue of rent, but if at all you're going to even
I mean,
give a
cool,
quick
if they want me
notice,
to leave
yes,
in December.
They must give you a 6 months notice in advance. And where this is not so, we will be able to say, look, what you have done is not right. It is either you reinstate him back or we head for the court. But they were, the lawyer to the landlord, I must say, I must commend him, was magnanimous enough to see that what was actually done was wrong. And the lawyer was able to intervene between him and his client and have him reinstated, and of course they took the money from him. But what I would say is that where even they still refuse to, if anybody finds themselves in that kind of situation, what the law says is that take the money to court. There are courts.
Take the money to court.
To court. There are some courts that are designated for issues of landlord and tenancy. You go to the chief magistrate court and say, look, my landlord has refused to collect this money, even though I am supposed to pay. Probably because, you know, he's looking for a way to send out the tenant. Probably he wants to increase the rent. You know how they do. So once you put that money in court, you have put the money there. If he now gives you a quick notice at the end of the day, you can head for the court. And then the court will be magnanimous enough to say, look, we recognize the fact that this person has actually paid your money into the court. So you by that
I've never heard this
to get
before.
justice. Yeah.
So
You just have to know your rights.
yes, I mean, a lot of what you're saying, what I gather from this is that the truth of the matter is that we, as the masses or as the common man, do not take time to know our rights.
Exactly. You see, I will tell you something. You see, in other jurisdictions,
That there are laws that protect people, but we
exactly.
just
You
don't
see,
know them.
in other jurisdictions, Agatha, you'll find that in an average American house, you'll find their constitution in their house. Ask how many Nigerians do have the constitution.
How many of you
in their
here have
house?
seen the constitution?
You see, so that they
Don't
know
lie.
their right. You read it, you know your rights. If you know you are a tenant, go and get the tenancy law and read.
My name is Aladesheyi Samuel. I want to ask a question. I discovered that most of our policemen, they are the most corrupt government agencies we have in Nigeria. The reason why is because even some of those transport which cycle, what do you call it? At times they just play under ignorance. And as a result of that, they will threaten to what? To lie or to put that person. Even that person want to fight back. So in that case, what can we do?
Are you talking as the
Recycle.
owner or as a passenger?
Anybody.
Even it can be
Which
anybody.
one are you talking now? That you see, the point is that,
Okay.
look, let me tell you something.
Left hand.
Nowadays, that is why we all have our camera. You can record. You can record without anybody knowing that you are recording. You don't have to put it on the pen. That is why you are armed with that.
But that is how they got some LASTMA officials fired the last time.
Exactly.
Even
That was how
policemen.
the case of Uzomo Okele that you talked about, that we were able to get judgment. Immediately after that, something similar happened around my 12 area, that a policeman unlawfully stopped an Okada rider. And the people there said, you see, we are recording it. Immediately, we are recording it and we are going to take it off. He released the person. That is one way of getting it. You see, there are ways. And where he says he's taking you anywhere and everything, fine, you can take me anywhere, but I know my right. I know OPD. I'll call my lawyer. The law says that I should have, I'm entitled to a lawyer. I'll call my lawyer. Once they begin to hear that, they know that, you know, take me to whichever police station you want to. But I know that I have my right, and I'll call my lawyer. Once they hear that, they would step back.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a warning on that.
Yes.
Because, I mean, they are missed every time. Sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous if you just bring out and start recording. So you have to be very tactful. in
Exactly.
doing that. Other than that, no police, they know that any reports can send them out of job. They can even harm you. So if you know you want to record, you must do it discreetly.
Discreetly.
If you don't want to do it discreetly, you can memorize his name tag. They all have name tag. And once you have the name tag and know the particular point you saw the police officer, send it. They say there's no access to justice for the poor, but what Lagos State is trying to do is to provide access to justice for the poor people. And other zones.
Yes.
So once you have issues like that, please note the name, report to us. If they tell you to stop, another thing police used to tell me they don't like is when they tell you to stop and you don't stop.
Or you argue with
The
them.
moment they tell you to stop,
Stop.
please stop.
My own comment is about going back to the last one. I work in construction company. So I'm a safety manager. So major, sometimes we need to have cases on the road that I will have to go there to come and handle the case. So in the case of last month, many times when they apprehend our tippers, and many of them, we find the case that they will not issue the ticket for that offense immediately. They will take the vehicle to maybe to their park or wherever, wanting maybe the transport manager or people to come from the office, so to bargain with them not to write the ticket. All over in the Pori, in this Anthony, many times like that. So in the case like that, what can we do? Because last month, they are more, the police have their own, but last month too, they are so stubborn, even dragging with the steering. A lot of cases are last month like that. So what can we do? Last month, they are very, I don't know what to say about them.
Exactly the same thing. I would say that exactly the same thing as the police. Take it. There is a case of a LASMA official that I have on my phone now that misbehaved along that Coca-Cola area. And immediately I took the photograph, I took his name tag and his number, and I sent it to the right channel to ensure that that man was actually disciplined.
Can I search an officer coming to search my apartment without a search warrant, or even with a search warrant?
Yes.
Can you do what?
Can I search an officer coming to search my
or asking for his
apartment?
identity and his search warrant.
No, yes.
Even with it,
Yes,
can I
yes.
search him?
The process
Yes, because
is
they
that
can bring something into
the
you.
process is
but
that
you can't.
when they come to search you with a search warrant signed by a magistrate, you are meant to search them first before they search you.
You are meant to search them.
Yes, you are to search them. Ask that you want to search them. After they finish, you will search them again. That is what the law says.
My name is Afolabi Kabir. My question is on the issue of these MAGB rules that disturb commercial bus drivers. I want to ask, are they legal? Are they supported by the government?
Obviously, they are illegal. They are illegal. And that is why, you see, anything in Nigeria, you see, if number one, it is illegal for them to collect money. A downfall driver does not have, there is what you call freedom of association. A downfall driver does not have to belong to any association. The only thing is that once he has paid his normal due that is expected of him, maybe like his hackney tax and all the taxes to the local government and the state government as he's supposed to, whether he now belongs to an association that he'll be giving them for 500 naira a day is his choice.
Okay, I mean, we can go on and on and on. And you know, every time you come, people just use the opportunity to get free legal advice, which is fine. I mean, because this is what it's about, to educate people. And, we can't thank you enough because you are ever willing. Thank you. And God will continue to bless you as you fight for the masses. And this is a good thing. Again, thank you. Don't get tired, though, even as you continue to hear the plenty cases. And thank you for showing that it is possible to get justice for everybody. Yeah. I'm going to take a last line from you. I'll take your number as the last word, and then advice for people watching this program on how to get justice, on what to do.
Well, my advice for everybody is to don't sit down, know your rights, defend your rights, ask for your rights, seek opinions, reach out for people who can assist you. Poor people can get justice, especially in this Lagos. So once you have problems, contact us. I can assure you, if you can't reach us, you can reach OPD, you can reach other people. So stand up for your right. Read. Like Agatha said, read. Buy these pamphlets on landlord tenancy law. It's very simplified, and you will know what is there so that you can educate yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Nuruddin, a word for people who have gone through what you have gone through.
My word to them is this. We masses, in any case that happens, patience is very matter. don't just get tired in every situation you find yourself. It's challenges. Face it. Don't let challenges to overcome you.
Mrs. Weze, let me get the last word from you.
Well, just like they said, we all have to be patient. And I want to just...
But have you taken anything away from the conversation
A lot.
here?
I've taken a lot away from here.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm happy that I came. I also want to appeal to women out there. We are fighting ourselves for nothing. And then for some women, just like you said, who have, you know, it's fortunate because the children came into this world the way God wanted them to come. If you have had a child for a married man, what do? Cooperate with the woman in the house. Let your priority be for the goodness of your child and the goodness of the man's children. If you ever love the man, you're not, why are you fighting? What do you want? Why do you want to fight? Why don't you just, at the end of the day, sit down and find out how everybody will come to a round table and resolve the issues on ground instead of fighting. In the first place, you are an intruder. You are going to
intrude. Mrs. Rotimi, a last word from you.
I would say that in any situation that you find yourself or you know of anybody that needs the services of a lawyer, and you want free legal service, or you just want to know your rights, please come to the Office of the Public Defender. And we have a toll-free number. So you see, you don't even have to worry about whether you have money on your phone or not. And I'll just give you the number. It's 070-80-60-1080. I'll repeat it again. 070-80-60-1080. And I'll just say, especially to the women, please speak out, especially women that had suffered domestic violence or had suffered sexual abuse or physical abuse, one way or the other, or you know of anybody. Please access justice by coming to Office of the Public Defender. Same thing goes for everybody else. Whether it's a landlord and tenancy issue, whether it's employee-employer issue, whether it is even bail, we can assist
especially
you
for cases of sexual assault, and people believe they won't get justice.
And I'll tell you that, look, we've been going to court. People are getting convictions, 10 years, 14 years, even life imprisonment. So speak out. You know of anybody that needs legal advice, please come to the Office of the Public Defender.
You said you've been getting a lot more of that.
And also, know your rights.
Police issues. If you have issues with police, please contact us.
Because you actually are working directly with the police right now.
Yes, Constance.
Your number is very, very important. All right, a very big thank you to you. I'm most grateful. Thank you for the education. Thank you for the enlightenment. I hope that this makes us become a bit better as individuals, as Nigerians, for the time and the commitment that you put into what you do. Thank you. I look forward to hearing the good news later. You know, you're still smart. You don't look like somebody who is stressed now.
No,
and Nuruddin, thank you for showing us that you can fight a big man. Yes. So to all for comments and suggestions, please send us your emails at insideoutwithagatha@yahoo.com or www.facebook.com/InsideOutWithAgatha, or follow us on Twitter at InsideOutMedia. To my audience, a very big thank you to you. I hope you have also learned and that you will take this message out. And, you know, each one tell one, and we will become a better society and a more enlightened society. We should read a lot more. It's not only lawyers that should know your rights. You as individuals should know what your rights are. Exactly. I think that's something we have taken away from all this. Big thank you to Voltic Water, to Oba for my hair, Funke Lori for my makeup, Shashi's Couture for my clothes, and thank you to Kelu Image Consultants for styling me. Until next week when we come again, talking about something else equally as interesting. Bye-bye and see you next week.